I think I see the connection between like what you would call the new empathy and like AI driven solutions. Have you had any insights specifically related to AI?
Yes, very much so. This idea that AI is here to solve all issues and we don't need human beings in customer service anymore, that just simply isn't true. But the problem is, it is true some of the time. So it's the ability to discern whether or not this issue can be resolved with virtual assistants or if it requires live assistance. And if so, let's aid that live human being so that they can be more productive and have a better engagement with this one customer.
I would think also the AI learns from that.
Yes, it learns what it can do and what it can't do.
Right.
And, when you think about the previous generation of AI, the first bots you ever interacted with,
Oh, they're terrible.
one of their big problems is they didn't know what they didn't know, and they tried to pretend that they knew everything. So if they didn't have an answer, they'd make one up or they'd give you wrong information. And that's exactly the opposite of how any bank or credit union can ever allow themselves to operate. So we practice what's called responsible AI at Glia, which means nothing ever gets shared with a customer that isn't already pre-approved by you.
How does this impact management and employees?
We think once organizations recognize what we at Glia mean by AI for all, they will recognize these three words: help has arrived. It's never been easier or more fun to work in customer service because AI for all means there's AI tools that are customer facing, so resolving simple issues without the need for human involvement, but also three other forms of AI: agent-facing AI, so that as the agent is working at their keyboard, they're being prompted by AI with information about this customer, about their previous interactions, how to resolve this issue. Like instead of searching through a million databases or going to what's called the knowledge base, as soon as the system identifies what this customer's issue is, information is immediately presented on the agent's screen. Not a script to force you to read it, but here's the helpful information it would have taken you a while to look for. We're just going to present it to you right now. Coaching tips and suggestions. Here's how other people, some of the best people in our operation have handled this same issue. And oh, by the way, after the whole interaction is over, instead of spending a minute or two recapping everything that happened, all of that is done by the AI. You get to approve it as the agent, but all the keystroking and all the remembering gets done by the AI. So first of all, the agent's job is way, way easier. And it enables that agent to concentrate a lot more on the human being they're interacting with. So ironically, AI helping humans be more human. There's also, if you'd like, tools for managers and supervisors and AI tools for leaders and executives that make everybody's job more effective, more interesting, more creative, and even more fun.
I think the interesting part is the making the work more interesting because, the call centers have historically been like really kind of brain numbing.
It's a grind. Somebody
Right.
has, I once remember hearing somebody say, call centers are factories of sadness.
Yes, I think that's a legitimate observation historically.
Right.
Because like how much purpose do you feel if you're giving your bank account information, like how much somebody has in the bank, like over and over
Yeah.
and over again? And those are the things that like clog up the system. Just
Yep.
like rescheduling or scheduling, doctor's appointments clog up the system. And those are things that, are sort of tedious and actually, could be done online or through AI. And it allows the customer service to sort of strip away the really like routine, tedious
Right.
parts of the job. And then they're handling more interesting cases.
And have a little bit more capacity to be able to handle them, not only in terms of tools that are helping them do their job, but just a little bit of breathing room. When you're in a contact center, it's the same, to your point, it's the same issues over and over and over again. And it's very much of a churn and burn environment, especially at times of peak demand. But what we're seeing is when about 50% of all what used to be incoming phone calls can now be perfectly handled by virtual assistants, it allows companies to take a breath and give their people a little bit more space, or even to do things like spending a little bit more time training or giving people an opportunity to pursue other areas of the company that may be more revenue generating, or to be able to bring in people who are happy to do this job instead of taking it because it's the only job they could get and it doesn't pay very well, but it's an entry-level job, so I'll put up with it.
Do you see that organizations are actually giving them some breathing room? And by breathing room, I mean, I know that historically you have to finish these calls as fast as possible, and there's a lot of time pressure on you.
Yep.
Is any of that time pressure loosened up with some of these tools?
Yeah, it is. And it's called average handle time. But if you think about it, most companies consider average handle time begins at the moment the agent says hello, and the timer gets shut off at the exact moment when the agent has completed everything the customer needs and all their post-call work, and now they're ready to take the next interaction from the next customer. So that's average handle time. So let's say in a typical bank or credit union contact center, that might be 7 or 8 minutes. But of those 7 or 8 minutes, what we've learned through an analysis that we call an impact study, about 4 of those minutes are actual connection with the customer and resolving their issue. So 4 of the 7 minutes, at a rough level, are the actual guts of connecting with a human being. So if AI can take away the necessity to do the first 2 minutes of those 7, which again are authentication, making sure you're not a fraudster, making sure you are who you say you are, and issue diagnosis or discovery, figuring out what your issue is. And then to take away most of the last minute, which is post-call work, that 4 minutes in the middle can be a little bit more relaxed. And in fact, even if that 4 minutes expands to 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes of average handle time compared to what used to be 7. So it's a combination of way better, more relaxed, more human, but also more efficient. So in the old days, efficiency was cracking the whip and telling people, get off the phone as fast as possible. Here's a question we've all heard a million times. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Which in the call center world is really a secret code for, do I have permission to hang up on you right now?
It's not so secret. We know.
Right. Oh, there you go.
We know.
Which have been revealed.
Because we want to hang up too.
Right. There you go. But, if the guts of the interaction, the real human part, can be done in just a little bit less time than what the whole thing.
That's almost a 50% reduction in time.
It is. And you're resolving about 50% of issues without them requiring human beings. So again, this is the extraordinary convergence of much greater economic efficiency, but also a way better experience for both the customer and the agent.